goes over the cons of adopting. The first con of adopting a child is the expense. It is terribly expensive. AmericanAdoption.com estimated that you spend about $5,000 to $40,000 to adopt. And those expenses can include the birth parent expenses. You are the one paying for the birth mother to go to the hospital. You pay your bills. Sometimes you pay her afterwards, and then you pay all of her hospital fees. So that could be really bad. And then you also have, if you're doing international adoption, you have the travel fees. And we all know traveling is incredibly costly. And then of course you have all the expenses of having a new child in your home. Next is the long waiting list. It could take years. They put you on a waiting list. Well, it first takes about, anywhere up to a year to be put on a waiting list. And then it can be years or months before a birth mother picks you, or that your application is chosen to go through the adoption process. And it's very challenging because even if you are accepted, and if a birth mother does pick you, then she also has the right to say no. She can back out at any time and leave you starting all over again. And it can take years after that. The birth mother has many rights, and she can wave them around. She can take away that child faster than the blink of an eye. And then she can also fight for her parental rights after the baby is adopted. And another thing with adopting, if you do international adoption, you can't really choose a newborn. Well, you can't choose a newborn if you do international, and newborns are the most sought after age. So it's so hard to find one if that is the age of the child you're looking for. And then they can have sealed records. Your child can have trouble getting their birth record, or getting their passport, or driver's license. There are many legal things that can affect the child. And of course, the child itself, because you don't have a medical history for this child. So you don't know if they're at risk for diabetes or asthma, or if they come from a bad country, they could even have AIDS. You just don't know, and you don't have a medical history. And then the child also goes through some emotional turmoil. Sometimes that child, especially if they're older or in the foster care system, they can feel abandoned or given away, and that could cause depression, and it could cause a mess. One woman from Yahoo posted saying that don't put your child up for adoption, you should just abort. And her message was so strong, she hated that she was adopted, even though she was adopted as an infant. So before you adopt, weigh the pros and cons. There are many cons that you have to consider when you're doing this. So before you make a life-altering decision, please weigh them.